There can be many causes for lower back pain, but if you've ruled out the major structural things, a lot of the movement solutions needed to improve how your back feels are the same. And in this video, I'm going to go over 3 common movement issues seen with back pain. And if you perform the exercises that I prescribe in this video, you ought to notice improvements in mobility and comfort in your lower back. Step 1. Reduce hinge points in your back. When people move through the spine, they might lock many areas in place and move through only a few individual segments. You can see this when someone is doing a toe touch. You might see flattening in a couple areas, while most of the bending occurs at one focal area. When this happens, all of the load is going to go through that area that's moving. We want to broaden the load distribution. So when we do something like bend forward or rotate, multiple segments create the motion. This distributes the loading across all those segments and can reduce pain. Something like this Swiss ball rotation can help you with that. Grab a Swiss ball and lie on your side with your head resting on pillows or pads. Feet together, knees are going to be straight. Rest the ball on the top thigh. You're going to press your hands into the ball. If you get it right, you'll feel your abdominal muscles work. Take a breath of air in through the nose. On the exhale, you're going to push yourself to your back to start using the bottom knee and foot. Inhale, return to the start position. You can start by just rolling from your side to your back. As you gain more mobility and comfort, you can then switch by rolling from one side to the other. Just make sure that as you're rolling, you exhale, and when you're stationary, you inhale. Try 2 to 3 sets of 6 to 10 rolls per side, 2 times per day for 2 to 4 weeks. The most common screw up with that movement is losing pressure into the ball as you rotate. You want to have a 3 to 4 out of 10 pressure into the ball so you ensure that you log roll. The second thing is moving the arms and legs independently of the lower back. A common issue I see is when people move their arms and legs, they also move their torso very early in the range. You should be able to move your leg and your arm independently of your pelvis or back. But if I'm restricted in motion because there's increased muscle activity throughout the body, you will see these areas lock in place and move together. A common example of this is when someone brings their leg up and they round their back, or when they extend the hip and you see a big arch. You can also see this in the shoulders. If someone raises their arms overhead and their back arch increases, they have an inability to differentiate the arms and legs from the torso. When there's more muscle activity here, that reduces the amount of movement available. That can contribute to pain. We want to teach a movement strategy that gets these areas to move independently. This will broaden the load distribution, which can improve your mobility and reduce pain. I like this Swiss ball dead frog for this. Lie on your back with your feet together, your knees slightly straight. You're going to put a Swiss ball on your shins and between your hands. If you get this right, you should feel your weight through 4 points. The PSIS, which is the bony part that's on the top of the pelvis and in between the shoulder blades on either side. If you don't have that, you need to straighten your legs further. Apply a 3 to 4 out of 10 pressure into the ball. Make sure that you do not crunch as you do this. If you notice that your ab wall comes up, then you want to reach your arms a little bit further, or you might need a bigger exercise ball. Maintaining this pressure, you want to inhale and move one arm up at a diagonal without losing your weight through those 4 points. Exhale, back to the start. Do 2 to 3 sets of 6 to 12 reps per side with that variation. You can then progress to a leg movement, and the thought process is the same. You're going to inhale and lower your leg so the outside foot touches the ground. make sure that you keep all 4 points contacting the ground. You do not want to be the person who arches their back as you lower. If you do, you need to shorten your range. Do 2 to 3 sets of 6 to 12 reps per side with that variation. Once you've segmented both of these and you're able to keep those 4 points, you're then going to combine the exercise into one ultimate variation. Inhale and lower the opposite arm and opposite leg, maintaining those 4 points. Exhale, back to the start, and alternate sides. Make sure you keep pressure into the ball so you don't arch. Do 2 to 3 sets of 6 to 12 reps per side, a couple times per day for 2 to 4 weeks. And last, but certainly not least, is to increase the front to back space available in the spine. Contrary to popular belief, your spine is not this rigid structure that's never supposed to move. We want to ensure that there is adequate motion available across all segments. But if I have increased muscle activity, oftentimes I see reductions in available space on the front and back side of the body. This is a contributing factor to those hinge points developing. We can recruit side muscle activity, which include your serratus anterior and your obliques, to increase the front to back dimensions of the torso, which can reduce spinal pressure because there's more motion available. A side plank is a great way of achieving this, but it's not your typical side plank. You're going to do this with one knee bent on the ground. Take your top arm and leg and reach them both forward, log rolling so you feel weight bearing on 2 points. The bottom outside top of the knee, and I'm talking about the lateral femoral condyle, not necessarily the front of the knee. The second point is the pisiform, which is the wiggly bone that's on the pinky side of the wrist. If you have a hard time feeling those points, I would use a wedge under your hip and your elbow to tip you into position. To ensure that you can get the pisiform contact, make the letter C with your hand and pour a drink out for your fallen homies who can't move as well as you are now. This will allow you to get that bony contact. Take a silent breath in through the nose. On the exhale, you're going to push your body up through those 2 points. If you notice that your shoulder is doing most of the work, you need to press more with the knee. If you notice that it's all glute and you're not feeling the bottom abs, you need to press more with the pisiform. Ideally, your pressure will be even through those 2 points. Hold this position and breathe silently in through the nose, soft and slow through the mouth. Do 5 sets of 5 breaths 2 times per day for 2 to 4 weeks with that exercise. If that is too difficult, simply applying the pressure and lifting your torso up while keeping the hips on the ground can also give you benefits. Now, it's not uncommon for people who've been experiencing back trouble to feel it in other parts of their back, such as their upper back. If that's feeling stiff and it's just not moving as well as you'd like, I'd check out this video right here, which goes into some of my favorite exercises to loosen things up between the shoulder blades.